Hi, welcome to day 3 of How to Have World Peace. So, the first day we said that, quite amazingly, the Lubavitch Rebbe, our great leader, the teacher of Jewish mysticism in our generation, taught us how to have world peace. The very last public address that he addressed the world Jewry. And yesterday we spoke about that the mechanism towards world peace begins first of all with understanding that our world is not a materialistic one. Yes, we need materialism to live, but life is not materialism. It's a means to an end. It's not the end of the means. The reason, first of all, we exist is to bring gratification to our Creator, to God, which comes pretty much the same way we bring gratification to ourselves. In Judaism, we have a term called nachas, like self-satisfaction. And that comes about by elevating that the purpose of life is to do goodness and kindness, to have spiritual values, and these values then take over the instinctive values. And once we have that, we bring gratification not only to ourselves, but to God, who, like any parent, when they see their child being a mensch, being special, they get tremendous satisfaction from the fact that their child has grown and is not just an animalistic little child, but it's a mensch, it's a human being, it's somebody special. So that's number one. Now, number two, we have to understand that, and this I heard from Rabbi Yossi Jacobson, quite a great scholar of Jewish mysticism, and he said as follows. It speaks about in Kabbalah that what did God need? Why did God create us? So obviously there are many accurate reasons. It doesn't have to be a single one. We just spoke about one, which is God gets joy from our growth. And there's also the famous one that Teva HaTov LeHativ. It's the nature of a good person to do goodness. So anybody who by nature is kind needs somebody to bestow the kindness, and the kindness is that God gives him satisfaction that he can do good. But ultimately there's something very, very deep, and that is that even if you're God, even if you're perfect, you're still missing something. Even the most perfect man or woman still seeks a mate, because people want the quality of unity. And ironically, for there to be unity, there has to be separation. Because if something is one, it can't be unified. It's an individual. So you need to have separate things, and these separate things unite. And in unity, you have a sum which is greater than the sum of its parts. So it's a very simple concept, but very, very all-encompassing, which is God wants unity. And if we really look at the world is really a challenge between, can we be humble enough to unite with others? Because in order to have unity, you need to have humility. An arrogant person, someone who thinks he's better than someone, doesn't seek to have unity. In fact, the breakup of many marriages is based on the fact that one of the spouses becomes arrogant, and then they disassociate from seeking unity with the other. They may seek pleasure, but not unity, and the other doesn't exactly want that. They want a relationship. They don't want somebody who thinks that they're better than them. So, step number 2 towards world peace is beyond realizing that, of course, our goodness and kindness gives us and God satisfaction, which is the purpose of Him creating us, to get that satisfaction. There's something much deeper. And that is that when I unite with a fellow human being, when you unite with a fellow human being, you bring about a state which in effect God Himself cannot have. Because God is one. And it is only when we unite with each other, we create a sum which is greater than the sum of its parts. And that is why we say the most important Jewish prayer is Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Listen, Jewish people, God, who created all these many things, is one. Now this one, we don't say He's singular, which is accurate, God is singular. No, we're saying He's one. I don't want to go into all the details, but the bottom line of the teaching is that the word echad has 3 letters. Aleph stands for the oneness of God. Ches stands for the 7 heavens and earth, space, and Dalet is the 4 directions. And we're saying that everything within the 7 heavens, on earth, in all directions, is not one, but it is unified in the oneness of love, in the oneness of identification. And tomorrow, please God, we will speak about how we actually create unity through identification.